today we're doing something a little different. We're going to talk about 3 tips for beginners in disc golf. These 3 tips could apply to anybody in disc golf, no matter how long they've been playing. I'm pretty sure these tips aren't going to be what you think they are either. Let's get into it. All right, so like I said, I'm betting these tips are probably not going to be what you think they are. One of them's probably what you think it is. The first tip is this: do some drills. And I know maybe you've heard that before, maybe you haven't, but it's definitely something you don't need to overlook. It's really going to help what you do subconsciously when you are playing the game of disc golf. Anytime you are under pressure, or anytime that you're just playing without thinking, your body is going to kind of default to the habits that it's already built up, or basically default to what it does subconsciously. What drill works do is, yes, they help with your form, but they also help your body learn what to do subconsciously when you're not thinking about that specific thing you're trying to get better at. I have a good video on some drills that I'll put like a picture of there somewhere, and I'll put a link in the description. Basically, the whole rant of all of this is don't overlook drills. A lot of times you can be like, oh, I don't have time for drills, or I don't have a field or anything like that. You can actually take like a dishcloth or something like that at your house, and you can do some very simple like coil drills, timing drills, arm speed drills, weight shift. You can do all the things if you just take the time to do it. I was doing a drill last night inside my house, and a disc slipped out of my hand. My wife thought it was hilarious. I was ducking for my life because I was afraid the disc was going to like ricochet off the walls or something. I know I did a little bit of ranting about drills, but I really can't emphasize enough how important drills are. Like, you can take 5 minutes of your day, go work on a drill, and it will literally change everything about your form in your game in disc golf. And there's so many different drills. Like, I'm coming out with some more drills soon. I just think drills are so overlooked. The next tip I want to talk about is very simple, and I don't think it's talked about enough. Maybe it's just not listened to enough. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. I cannot say this one. This is probably the most important one, and probably the most applicable to no matter what level of disc golf you're in. Slow down. So many people get into disc golf and because they see a cool YouTube video or some coverage on YouTube, and they're like, man, these pros are just running up to the tee pad and chucking it. I want to do that. And the reality of it is they've been playing for, chances are, most of them around 5 to 10 years, if not more. They've learned how to do that full speed run up for huge distance. Why did I do, like, I don't know why I did that. They learned that full speed run up for huge distance, but their whole body is in sync the whole time. And as a beginner, you're probably not going to be able to keep your body in sync the whole time in a full speed run up. I'm going to give you an example of that. I've been playing about 3 years. I don't run very full speed in my run ups. I'm going to throw both of these Emperors. They're both I-blend, very similar. This red one has a little bit more dome. I'm going to throw this blue one as fast and hard as I can. And then with this red one, I'm going to do a slow, controlled, powerful run up, if you could even call it that still. The basket is dead straight, about 400 feet away. That sounded good, but it wasn't. It's going way left, probably short, 50 feet or more. All right, now a more controlled, slow walk up, powerful. Come back. Okay, I think that went a little long. The reason why I say slowing down applies to everyone who plays disc golf, no matter how long you've been playing, is because a lot of times for beginners it prevents injury and all sorts of things, creating bad habits, etc. But for like people who've been playing a little bit longer, it helps us realize what we're doing wrong. If we're like in a funk with our form or anything like that, we can very quickly understand, like, oh, if I just slow down, I can figure out what's going wrong. But a lot of times our first instinct is like speed up and throw it harder. So if you can learn how to slow down, you can actually problem solve and figure out what you're doing wrong instead of just getting frustrated. All right, so here's the Emperor. You can tell the basket's right there. It's about 20 or 30 feet short. Here's the second Emperor. Yes, I'm aware that's out of bounds, but it's out of bounds about probably 15 feet. long. It may not look like that much of a difference in the throws distance wise, even though actually if you add it up, it's about 40 feet difference. One went about 370, the other one went about 415. Pretty big difference in the distance as well as the control of the flight. Like that first one that I threw slipped out of my hands early, ended up going way left, hyzer the whole time. Sounded really good, but it actually didn't really go that far whatsoever. Second shot, I yanked it a little bit, not too much. It held a dead straight flight, went over the treetops and kind of over the road, which is a pretty good line for that hole. And it actually ended up hitting this little wood fence that's protecting some kind of power source thing. I don't know what it is. It literally hit right at pin high of the basket, maybe a little short, bounced off of that, which killed all, distance and power, and still scooted forward long because I slowed down and was more focused on timing and everything else. And there's just such a huge difference when you're able to slow down. And there's so many pros that are just slow and controlled in their run up or walk up rather, and are so powerful. Like Drew Gibson, the dude is one of the biggest throwers on tour. And if you watch him, 90% of his throws are controlled, smooth walk ups that just are explosive at the end. All right, the last tip that I have for people just getting into disc golf. So simple. Go have fun. That's what it's all about. If you're not having fun, why are you even out here? And this is one I have to remind myself of all the time. The reason I say this is a tip for beginners, a lot of times what happens when someone first gets into disc golf is they're flooded with people telling them like, don't do this, do that, to where it almost takes the fun out of it. So what all does have fun mean? What it means is when you first get into the sport, like, yes, you need to do drills. Yes, you need to slow down, but don't allow that to be your full focus or it'll take all the fun out of it. You need to have days where you just go have fun. Don't worry about how your form looks. Don't worry about this. Like, just go have fun for the love of the sport. Get that brand new Tour Series disc that you're never going to throw as far as a pro. And everyone's like, don't get it. It's just going to ruin your form. It's just going to do this. You want to go get the brand new time lapse or the brand new whatever comes out, knowing good and well that you're not going to be able to throw it as far as the pros. If that makes you happy in disc golf and you're going to have fun throwing it, go get it. You can actually check it out at infinitediscs.com. Shout out to Infinite. Seriously though, go get the disc. If you have fun and enjoyment from getting the newest disc that comes out and testing it out, go do that. I would suggest for sure have some days where you're practicing and you're very intentional about what you're working on. If you forget to have fun while you're out here, you miss the whole point of disc golf for like 9% of people who aren't trying to make it a career. So I'm going to throw some fun shots. This is about a 430 foot hole. Typically, I would throw my normal shot was like an Emperor, try to move it right for the sake of having fun. I'm going to throw probably 5 different shots. Try them on different angles and different throws and see if it works. Shot would be my normal shot with an Emperor. That one seems pretty good. It's a little high, but it might go. Second shot, I'm just going to do like a little bit more hyzer, a little bit more left, see if I can get a huge flight out of it. Still a little high. With these 3 discs, I'm going to do more of like a flat to anhyzer type throw because these are all a little bit more overstable, particularly this one. This one's the new Conqueror. It means it is very, very much a professional level disc. It's very overstable. Halo Pharaoh. I'm going to try to throw it on a big anhyzer. Pretty good. So that skipped up like 10 feet away from the basket, and I never would have thrown that shot if I didn't come out here just to throw for fun. All right, Halo Emperor, same thing, kind of anhyzer. Now, this is where it gets kind of fun. This is a very overstable disc that I highly doubt I'm getting there. I can't throw this disc 430 feet. So I'm going to try to throw this like on a roller angle. I tried so hard. Oh, man. Look how overstable that is. Almost went in the road. All right, this is a really beat-in destroyer. I'm going to try to throw it on a big hyzer for a fun line, see how far I can go. Oh, I got over on it. Please come out of it. I don't know where that went. I think it's long of the basket. We'll see. So another thing that having fun does it keeps you from getting frustrated. This Conqueror is like 80 feet short or more, but it was fun. This first Emperor, 40 feet short or more. My first shot is probably, I don't know, Circle's Edge. The big Anheuser with the Emperor, 20 feet short. My Faro is 10 feet from the basket, and I never would have thought to ever throw that shot. This last shot that I did, a hyzer flip with a beat-in destroyer for fun, ended up going 25 feet-ish past the basket. Now I'm way over here to the right and technically out of bounds, but it was still a pretty good bomb of a shot. Speaking of fun, I'm gonna try to do a couple throw-ins. Really, I think the fun factor is so overlooked in disc golf. We focus so much on getting better, all the different things, and then when beginners get into the sport, we're like, hey, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, and I'm guilty of it too. Forget to tell them to just have fun. That's what it's all about. Backhand. Did it. So close. All right, I'm gonna wait for these nice people to keep walking. It's a precious old couple. My wife would probably start crying because when she thinks something's really cute, it makes her cry. I don't understand it. Skip shot with the Scepter. That was so bad. First collaboration video with the company is coming out soon. Super excited about it. Stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe. Love y'all. Stay snappy. Peace. All right, we're gonna do one more fun shot. So I'll blend Faro. Very understable. So I'm gonna try to put it on a big hyzer, throw it kind of high, let it get a full flight. That wasn't high, but it was hyzer. Man, right in the mud.